Plunderbirds, international fuck you, rescue, solving global problems that they created. Italian Premier Berlusconi denies he is poor, ineffectual and not able to pay for sex. Iranian election crisis, Pakistan nuke threat, Iraq bombing, who gives a fuck, really? In the UK, cybersecurity myth justifies domestic spying and control of the internet. Hello, menial tasks. Welcome to the fucking news. I'm adequately dressed. Here are the headlines tonight. Credit crunch, swine flu, nuclear proliferation, terrorism, piracy, copyright theft, sex trafficking, illegal drugs, climate change, the energy crisis. The people of Earth face a long list of scary global problems, any one of which could lead to hours of pointless news programming and overblown headlines. Never before have the people of Earth faced such an overwhelming litany of scaremongering pish, dreamt up by a few wealthy banking families to frighten you into the arms of global institutions owned and controlled by them and their cousins. But now, salvation is at hand in the shape of Plunderbirds, international fuck you, a top secret, high-tech emergency rescue team of puppets, ready to fuck the world over at a moment's notice. Sorry, that should be save the world. No? No, fuck the world. Here is their leader, Obama Puppet, explaining their mission. The world today faces many made-up problems and exaggerated emergencies created by my masters. I mean chaos and the forces of evil. Who will save a few of the 6.8 billion humans on Earth from these imaginary dangers, whilst making a vast profit and tightening their grip on all important resources on Earth? Plunderbirds will, from our top secret base somewhere in the intelligence and banking industry. International fuck you will get your country into debt, bomb your civilians, occupy your oil-rich state, depose your uncooperative leaders, invent terrorist groups, support your unelected economic slave whippers, ignore tyranny, assassinate dissidents, and claim they were a threat to national security. All this and more to ensure the wealth and safety of a few at the expense of the many. Our team of heroic action heroes includes Brains Bernanke, clever enough to imagine money out of thin air. Lady Privileged Nazi, the Queen, still controlling a vast horde of peasants with sexual juices from her beef curtains. Each of the Plunderbirds machines and its pilots fills a special mission role. Plunderbird 1 can appear anywhere on TV in a couple of hours, quickly filling your minds with disinformation and irrelevant factoids. Plunderbird 2, able to secretly carry huge cargoes of drugs anywhere in the world to fund our secret government. So, rest easy, people of Earth. We created your troubles and we can solve them. Wherever there is crisis, wherever there is oppression, wherever we created a problem, wherever you are reacting, we have the solution. Plunderbirds, international fuck you. Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi has denied allegations that he couldn't pay prostitutes to attend parties at his official residence and have sex with him. In an interview with some cheesy gossip rag, the 72-year-old leader insisted he could easily afford to pay for sex and that as a super rich, powerful leader of his country, finding some teenage actress to touch his wrinkly, flaccid body would be no problem at all. Mr. Berlusconi's personal life has been under close public scrutiny since his wife filed for divorce last month, not claiming he didn't chase after young women, failed to use wealth or influence for his own sexual gratification, and had never courted young women with gifts in the hope of some action. Many of Berlusconi's supporters say they wouldn't have voted for him at the last election if they'd known he was the kind of man not to take advantage of his position and bed a few peasant girls. Here he is on Italian TV refuting the allegations.
Hey, I have a loads of money and I am a top man in Italy. I own a TV, radio and a newspapers. I have a run at the government on and off for 20 years, and I'm very angry that anybody could think that an older, richer man couldn't get the pants off some young starlet with a bigger bunch of money. What a kind of world do they think we live in? Accidenti.
War, crisis and confrontation rage across the Middle East. At least 43 people died in missile strikes by US drone aircraft in a militant stronghold in Pakistan. Nearly 70 people were killed in a bomb blast in the eastern Sadr city area of Baghdad. In a recent bombing error in Afghanistan, the US admitted at least 26 people were killed. Human rights groups say the toll was more like 100. As the US bolsters its troop presence in Afghanistan and Pakistan, and it continues its offensive against the Taliban in the northwest, US troops prepare to pull out of Iraq, leaving an estimated death toll of over 1 million civilians since the start of the war. But who gives a fuck? We asked a cross-section of old YouTube videos if they really give a shit about dead brown people in countries far away.
Thanks for asking me, but no.
Well,
No. Friendly as possible, but still no.
More on that story later. Britons face a growing online threat from criminal governments. I mean, criminals. Say their government. Terrorists and police states. I mean, rogue states, according to the UK's first cybersecurity strategy. Launching the strategy, Cybersecurity Minister Lord West didn't say, "We're going to pretend that terrorists use the internet for radicalisation and things like that at the moment. But really, we just want an excuse to cut people off from the only mass media for freedom of expression that there is. So, we're peddling the fear that they, imaginary terrorists, will move down the path of cyber attacks, and that the government needs to bolster its defences against the growing threat of freedom of speech on the internet. I mean, terrorism on the internet. To be honest, at the moment the internet is full of delusional conspiracy types rabbiting on about Satan and the Illuminati. Once we really start turning the screw and we're shipping your children off to die in a fake war we created to prop up the economy, then you'll really have something to bitch about. So, our cybersecurity strategy uses broad, undefined terms that create panic amongst the public and a demand for further government powers. Nice. A new cybersecurity operations centre based at GCHQ will bring people together from across the government and from outside to get a better handle on cybersecurity issues and work out how better to oppress the country. Protect the country. Providing lies and misinformation about whatever we like. Thanks, and now the weather. Rich, powerful people will continue to own your assets for some time to come. Any attempt at changing the status quo will be violently resisted and may cause your death or injury. Have a nice weekend.